Okay. So as part of this backend development, previously we created and implemented create employee API, and also we added the Swagger documentation, and also we tested. So now we are implementing the get API to get the employee details from the database, and add API documentation method level. So API level also we can add the documentation. If you see here, we are not having any kind of information about this API. Okay. So we can add documentation method API level also. Okay. API level and convert the entity details to the DTO as a response. So whenever we are getting a response from the database, it will give the entity. So from the front end, DTOs we are having as a request and response objects. So we need to convert entity details to the DTO response, and test this get API from this Swagger API. Okay, let me open this IDE. So here you can see, here you can go to the controller. Okay, so you can copy this. Okay, instead of create, get here. Here it is. Here it will be the. Here it will be the. Here it will be the value will be the ID. ID will come dynamically. So here it is the path variable at the rate path variable long ID. Okay, so here you can here you can employee DTO response DTO equals to employee service dot get employee by ID. Okay, we are passing ID. Okay, that response DTO you can send here instead of message in the back end. You can send as a response. Okay, that's fine. Now you can go to the implementation here. So here we are not having any implementation. First of all, you need to convert this information first, then you can call this API. Okay, that's fine. So go to the map entity. So you can add one more method here. This is nothing but employee map to yes, this is an employee DTO. This is an employee. Instead of map to entity, map to employee DTO. So here you can take employee here, employee entity. Okay, that's fine. So here this will be the employee DTO, new employee DTO here. This will be the instead of entity we return DTO here. So we can take employee here. So add here. Okay. Fine. You need to return this employee DTO. Fine. We are adding conversion. So go to the service IMPL, get here. So here employee DTO mapper dot map to employee DTO. Here you need to pass employee. How you will get employee? From the database. Okay. Report dot repo dot find by id, find by id, not all, find by id, employee id, dot get employee, get an entity, it will come. So you can pass here, okay. So as of now we are not checking any exception handling, just we are concentrating on the positive flow only. That's fine. Okay. So implementation of this get employee is done. So you can see here we are getting the dynamically ID from the here instead of post mapping, you need to have a get mapping. Okay. Get mapping. Get employee. So path variable ID we are passing. Whatever the ID is coming here, we are passing ID. Employee DTO we are getting from the employee service IMPL. Here we are getting an entity from the database. So whatever we are getting the entity from the database, we are converting into the map to the employee DTO here. Here we are converting the employee entity to the employee DTO as a response object. Here we are calling. Okay, here we are calling. That's fine. Let me rerun this project again. So while running, we need to, yeah, of course, we already added method level as part of this commitment. We need to add documentation also, API level. So API level in controller. So here at the rate operation, at the rate at the rate operation Swagger annotation. So here what we are having, description and summary. We will have summary save employee, sorry, here we will have a one more parameter, description. You can add whatever you want. Okay, here many parameters are there. You can see after comma, you can see many parameters are there. Extensions and sorry. So method operation ID, I think here it will give. Okay. So description of this, okay, method and operation ID parameters corresponds. Okay. So all this you can give. Okay. So description. This API will save employee details to the database. Okay. The same you can add here also. Get employee. This API will get employee details from the database. That's all. So you can run this application again. You can run this application again. You can see here records will be gone. Okay, because create and drop, right? We added create and drop. Okay, so once it is created, if you comment this, records will be as it is. Let me comment after adding this. Okay, coming here, refresh this. See, get employee API also coming there. See, the information will be there. Save employee. This API will save employee details to the database, and get employee information. This API will get the employee details from the database. You can add whatever the information related to this API level. Okay, API level. So let me create where Vkakarla here @gmail.com. Java micro services. Okay. Okay. Let me add Subbu. This is the, you can pass Subbu. Java full stack. So here we have 2 records. You can check here in the database. We have 2 records. Now check the get employee. Try out and pass the second record and execute this. You are getting the second record information. You can see here employee. Whatever the information we are passing dynamically, the employee ID, it is coming here, the employee ID coming here, and it will go to the implementation. So from the find by ID, reported find by ID, right? So select employee from the database where employee ID is equal to whatever we are passing employee ID. That kind of queries will be written by already predefined by the Spring data, okay, by providing these repositories. Okay, so we are getting an employee entity. So as we know, this is a database model. This is not a response object. We need to convert this information entity to the response entity, response model. So we are converting here with the help of mapper class or transformation class, whatever you want. Okay, you can name it as your convenient way. So we are converting entity to the database model. Sorry, entity to the response model. So we are getting a response model here, and we are returning as a return here, as we written here. So in the controller, whatever we are getting the response DTO, we are passing this. We are giving the response as this object as well as status. Instead of created, you need to give the okay. Okay, you need to give the okay. We just copied, right? So okay, okay, okay. Now you can comment this section. Further, the records will be there in a database. Okay. So now, so this is what we here we added, and we implemented and we tested get API as well as post API, create API. Now we are going to see get all API. We are going to check the get all API for the next class.